Oh, no, I just talked to him. You read that, but I thought it was. Oh, yeah. All right, let's start reading. Welcome everyone in the room and online. We're going to be online. Moment, Pam, welcome online, and one of our com members for the record is online on Zoom tonight. Hope she's doing well. And I'm glad she's open to participate by Zoom. We are going to start the meeting for the October 8th Conservation Commission at the Bellingham Municipal Center. And thank those again for attending that are here. We'll move right along to the first item on the agenda, which is a continued hearing for notice of intent for Blackstone Street. The description is an alteration of bordering vegetated wetland, BDW, and its associated 100-foot buffer zone for improvements to the undeveloped section of Blackstone Street, including infrastructure, utilities, and site grading. Bruce Petrosi is the applicant from Wall Street Development Corporation. We have had correspondence and some things happening in the last couple of weeks, I guess is the way to summarize it. And we have issued an enforcement order, which we will be discussing the nature of it tonight. And that's the focus of tonight's section on this section of the hearing. And I'll ask people in the audience that are here as abutters or interested parties to hold their comments back until we see how things go going forward. May give some opportunities to open it up a little bit or not, depending on how things go. And we will be, just for the record, trying to make sure that we follow both legal and regulatory advice to move things forward in the proper method so that we don't jeopardize both the applicant and our Conservation Commission rights and future decisions and so forth by doing anything out of order. So if not everything gets resolved, and not everything will get resolved for sure, I can guarantee that tonight, but as things move forward, they may need to move forward in stages, which may or may not make sense to people in the room. But I will try to reinforce that we are, as we go forward, going to go forth with the best advice of both our town and administrative and legal counsel as necessary and where necessary. And then with that, I'll open the meeting up for comment on first, before Mr. Petrosi starts. Is anyone unclear on what we looked at with enforcement order and information? Was there any questions from the commissioners for Hannah? And we'll about that and issue it, or okay, Pam, online, you have any questions initially?
No, I don't. It was pretty clear.
Okay. All right, Mr. Petrosi, would you like to respond to the nature of the requirements in the enforcement order? Were fairly straightforward to restore there are 4 items. I can list them for you if you don't.
Well, I think I responded in a correspondence to the commission.
This is that, October 6th. What was the date of that?
Whatever date that is. Yeah.
I have one from,
Yeah, I have it right here.
I have one
October
from,
6th, yeah, you're right.
Quite frankly, I don't think an enforcement order is called for. The commission and their consultant for peer review of Bills and Thomas asked us to go in and locate it in an existing culvert that was beneath Blackstone Street. We did that. We excavated the area that was outside of any resource area. We exposed the culvert. And just so you folks will have a little bit of idea what was taking place, even though you know the reference in the enforcement orders was completely erroneous. But essentially we have, let's start at the beginning. So Fields and Thomas, and then subsequently our engineer, located an existing outlet to a culvert beneath Blackstone Street.
Is that the same culvert or shown or two different culverts?
That's the same culvert, different angles. Commission asked us to go and locate the culvert.
Do you have that on record that we actually asked you to locate the culvert?
It's on
Because
videotape, you don't have to go back to the videotape.
I don't
We
recall.
had a lengthy discussion about whether or not the culvert changes
I,
the regulatory atmosphere.
that's not the question I asked. The question I asked is, did we ask you explicitly to go and expose the culvert?
You did,
Okay. well,
you
we'll
asked
have
us to locate it,
We'll have to verify that information,
Okay.
how you located and what method and so forth. Okay.
so you asked us to do that. So this was the outlet that we were able to know, to find in the field. So in order to locate the culvert and document it and calculate for future use, we went and exposed the other side of the culvert, the inlet. Now, how did we do that? Well, we stuck a tape measure into the pipe and measured where the block, how far we could go with the tape measure. It stopped at a certain point, 12 feet in, and that's where we dug, 12 feet in. But in the meantime, we dug a test hole in the middle of the road, and we found that the pipe, which is a lot newer than the pipe that was on the outlet side, a lot newer, but it was split in the middle, so there was dirt falling in to the culvert. We then dug, found the end of the pipe.
Inlet or outlet end?
This is the inlet. The outlet was already exposed. This is the outlet. That's the outlet.
And this is only one of the two culverts that were being looked at.
Apparently, we thought there were two, but I tried my best to get information regarding the second culvert. We exchanged emails and correspondence with Bales and Thomas, and they said they never saw one, even though the report that we paid for said that there were two. So in any case, we go out there, we exposed the inlet of the culvert, and that's the inlet of the culvert. This is looking through, this is the crack in the pipe right there, which we left so that we could survey the inlet and the limits, which you have plenty tonight that show highlighted. That highlight the location of the culvert. In this location here. You can clearly see we're outside of any resource area. We're not in any resource area. In fact, you can tell from the excavation. There's no hydric soil, it's a gravel roadway. So why would there be an enforcement order for work that we did in the roadway itself? So you guys can issue an enforcement order all you want, but we did what you've asked us to do. And we're not, while we get into the regulatory aspects of it, we're entitled to restore a culvert. Part of the regulations. You will find that when we present the revised plans that will be coming forward shortly, you can see this is the existing culvert. This is where we proposed a new culvert, which happened to be at the location we thought, because we weren't aware there was a culvert there until Beals and Thomas told us there was. We designed this because this was the area where the pond was overtopping the roadway. It just happens to be a low point in the roadway. But this is the culvert that historically drained or carried the water through from one side of Blackstone Street to the other. So we are in the process now of redesigning this based on the regulations to restore this culvert and add whatever else is necessary to handle the flow. I don't have those details at this point, but I'm here tonight just basically to explain what was done. We didn't You didn't go in and destroy any vegetation. I personally was there. I hand cut the shrubberies so that we wouldn't have to alter a tree or knock a tree down. I cut them myself. We had an engineer there, we had God consultant there. We know what we're doing. We don't need to be told that we're in violation of something in a regulation. We know what we're doing. So whatever that enforcement order says that we're gonna be blocking that off, we're not blocking it off. We're perfectly within our
You're
right.
saying block it off, you're not reading it properly.
Well-
To restore it and put erosion control in place.
Fine, that's one thing. So that could have been done with a phone call.
Well,
We
could-
left
no.
it, hold on a second.
yeah, go ahead.
We left there the way it was. We took debris basically out of your wetland area and we managed to put something there for public safety. Because people were riding, while we were there, people were riding their bikes down that gravel road. And we were concerned that somebody would not see it because it's getting darker later, earlier and earlier. So we flagged it off. I put a tire there because we needed that stake there so the engineers could, you know, put their survey stake in there and measure the, you know, the pipe. And also to block it off. Now, if you want erosion control, fine. But don't tell me that we're in violation of a regulation or a bylaw or any part of the Wetlands Protection Act. We're not. We're perfectly entitled. The regulations clearly call for us to go out there and do testing if we need to do testing. Perfectly permitted. Anybody that says that we were out there, we were altering a resource area is completely false. In fact, when we get into it, the blockage of this pipe is actually altering the hydrology of the area. Because if there is no pipe, if there is no connection between, this is an isolated wetland, completely different regulatory avenue. We're not suggesting that at this point. We already know from your consultants and ours that there is no without this culvert, there is no hydrological connection between the two sides. Just that it floods and overtops the roadway. So I'll leave the rest of it up to the engineers, Beals and Thomas and others to keep this under the regulatory aspects of what's provided for in the regulations regarding restoration of culverts, working in the right of way with utilities. I mean, I don't know if you've read the regulations at all, but you know, there are exemptions for constructing this roadway as a right without requiring a notice of intent. So we're trying to do the right thing. There are people who are attempting to do things that are improper. We'll handle that in a different way. But our goal, as we've talked about before, is to try and maintain this area because it's vernal pool, maintain this area and allow this to be constructed without altering the vernal pool. We think we can do that. We think we can maintain, if you locate, if you know on the plan, the invert of this pipe is 291.3. The pond elevation is 292. Now, a 12-inch pipe is not going to handle the flow that comes through there. So regardless of whether or not this pipe is there or not, it's still going to pond. It's just not going to handle it. When you have peak flows of large storms, that pipe is not going to handle that flow. But our requirement is when we do this, we have to handle a 50-year storm when we design this road. And that's what we'll be doing. But we'll also be maintaining proper elevation of this pipe so that the ponding still occurs on that side. If the vernal pool is there, it'll be back. But there's certain questions being raised at this point in time regarding whether or not that is a vernal pool. And we'll let the attorneys deal with that, okay? But as far as the enforcement order, completely out of bounds.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, commission members,
I have several questions.
that's good, you can start.
Lou, the 292 vernal pool elevation, is that the bottom of the pool or water top?
You know, I asked that question, the engineers tell me that's the bottom of the pond dry. Now, I questioned it too, because I said, how can you have the invert at 291? And the pond at 292, which is foot high?
Above it.
Yeah, but if you look at the elevation of the roadway, the roadway is at 294 and 295.
Up to 297 and
Yeah.
continues.
Yeah, so when you look at it from that perspective, this is 3 feet lower than that, so, but
So you think the 292 is bottom of the pool
right,
from what you're being
drop,
told?
yeah, but I asked them to go out there and
The pipe materials, you found different materials. Is that the same pipe or a different pipe?
no, it's the same pipe.
When you cleared it, did anything flow through it afterwards?
No, it's dry, I mean,
The pond was dry.
pond is dry, there's not gonna be any water there probably until December or January.
We don't know that for
So,
sure.
Or in March, when, you know, when we get a lot of rain, but it's dry now, it's been dry, you know, for a long time. So,
And there's only the one pipe, you
right,
believe.
all we know that there's
you
one
believe.
pipe, we've been all over the
So
place.
the fact when we walked it, this is not a question, it's more of a observation comment. We saw water overtopping the road. And it was coming out of the downhill or the south bank in 2 locations, which was probably the byproduct of it just permeating through the
Yeah,
soil.
well, that's what Scott Goddard had the initial philosophy of that there was a caved culvert underneath the roadway. And it was seeping
Understand,
through the roadway up, at a little bit further east of this overtopping area. But we couldn't find it. And as I mentioned to Hannah in an email, we were gonna do some test holes and see if we could find the second culvert, but then we decided not to do that, and we just
So-
focused on that area right there.
Here's a question that comes to my mind out of this. If the inlet to that pipe is 291.3. And the bottom of the vernal pool is 292. If that pipe was clear throughout all of time, would that pool exist?
I think it would, based on everything that I've been told. I had the engineers and they'll present all of this at the next meeting, but I wanted to come tonight. What I've been told is that that pipe can only handle like a 2-year storm. So when you get a heavy rain, like a 10-year or 25-year storm, the pipe is just gonna allow, it's like acts as like a dam, like a weir
For a
structure.
while,
Huh?
for a day or so.
Whatever, I don't know the answer to that question. All I know is that I've asked them to calculate that, what that pipe could handle.
Yeah.
And I've been told that the water would still move on that side, on the north side. So, and I don't wanna, speculate until the engineers have done their, job. They've told me they've made a lot of.
So what I'm getting at for the board, and this kind of parlays into the engineering intent, is if that pipe is restored to its original size or greater, let's just take for conversation, take it to the 12-inch it was. And full flow was restored. In my opinion, that pool would not be the size it is.
Well, until
Is that what we
hydrological study is done by experts, I don't think we want to speculate. Because I'm
Well,
not a
it's-
person, but it's reasonable question.
So fine, let the study answer that question, but that question's being asked.
And I can almost say that we can accomplish both. I mean, if the commission is open about various alternatives, we can keep the pond at the elevation that it has been recently at, and have a structure inside there that tops over and goes through the 12-inch pipe or some other size pipe that they decide to put in. So there's a way to do both. and again, I don't wanna speak out of turn because it's the engineers are gonna have. Gonna come up with the design. But
So-
it can be,
Understand, my concern would be, and the study would answer this, is I don't want to introduce this box culvert as a means to handling it and inadvertently lower or diminish that pool if that's not what we want. Even though that pool may have been smaller 10, 20 years ago.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is, you have to ask the question, why did they design it 12 inches to begin with?
It was
well, let me just answer a part of the question. Because this used to be a public way. Town was responsible for it up until 2001. So there's a lot of things that we don't know. Okay. But we do know that somebody put that pipe in, whether it was the town or somebody else. And it did. Because they probably experienced flooding over the roadway. And they said, let's put a pipe in to handle the flow, or they constructed that roadway as a dirt roadway over that area, and they put a pipe in to handle the flow. Because if you look at the USGS map, there used to be a stream there. Used to be a connection of some sort. So, that's all I can tell you. There's a lot of, this goes back a long ways. It's an ancient roadway.
All right,
So we don't know who put the
those are
culvert
the questions I had.
Jump off your point and say that we can't really make a decision on what we want to happen, because what would normally happen in a process like this is the engineering would be done before any changes to the resource area are made, so that we can see the benefits and risks associated with it and determine whether or not this is a good path moving forward, this is better for the resource area, or if no, we think it's better to keep it as a vernal pool.
But you're gonna know that when we present the information. I'm not asking you to make any decisions tonight. All I'm saying is that it's happening. In other words, it's being evaluated in both ways that you suggested, that both Goddard and Allen Engineering will, provide documentation or information to tell you what the hydrology is gonna be with the pipe, without the pipe, adding to the pipe. What we do know is that that pipe is not sufficient to even, under a 50-year or 100-year storm, it's not sufficient to keep the water from overtopping the roadway. That's what we do know. So,
Pipe size and inlet and outlet elevation were only determined after the excavation. Is that accurate?
that's right. So the outlet was always, they do that,
Somewhat
yeah,
visible.
right, but the inlet wasn't determined until we excavated.
Just to be clear, the vice chair, you're making the point, I think, Ariane, that changes have been made, and normally we wouldn't want those changes to be made until the study had been done. Now changes have been made and observations can be made by engineers, but it's because changes have been made. If that wasn't opened up, you wouldn't be able to make the same observations
That's
and
right.
evaluations.
Well, we haven't changed anything because there's no flow there.
At the moment, there's no flow there. Who knows what's gonna happen in a month,
Right,
2 months?
so-
The problem is, changes have been made. When did you notify Hannah that you were gonna go and do the actual opening up of that area?
I don't know if we actually gave her the actual date of when we were doing it, but we
Okay.
did tell her that it was,
And did you state, was it your intent to make it a temporary change or a permanent change?
well, if the culvert is there, which even Beals and Thomas,
Well, something's there, whether it's a
Oh,
functioning culvert or not.
but Beals and Thomas said that we needed to evaluate that culvert for the hydrology. I don't know what the comment is, but I think it's comment number 16 in their report. You can read it for yourself. They said that we needed to study the hydrology based on the culvert that was there. So, I mean, I'm not making this, I'm not involved.
Study the culvert and evaluate and so forth are general terms as specifics of opening it up, leaving it opened up, putting no erosion control in, going into the wetlands on the vernal pool side for at least 14 feet with a tracked vehicle. These things are what is in the enforcement order and what we're trying to address tonight. Whether it will work out, the hydrological studies show that a larger culvert is necessary in order to have a road go in, what the impacts would be of the vernal pool. The mandatory, I think, requirement of us on the commission as our responsibility is to protect the nature and the quality of resource areas primarily in Bellingham and primary things like vernal pool. So that was stated at the last meeting as being the most important thing, more important than your point, which was to try to your offer to try to maintain levels with through engineering and so forth, which you did make at the time of the meeting, that's something you thought could be done. And I think our response, I made an initial comment, but I think some of the other commission members chimed in at that time that while that's understandable, maybe the maintenance of the level is not the most important thing. We don't know because we're not wetland scientists and experts. We would defer to them and try to get that evaluated. Now, an evaluation doesn't mean, I think, which is what has resulted in the enforcement order, going in, opening things up, leaving them open, no notification, leaving in the area while you put up some flags and tape and so forth, still wide open, no erosion controls in place, a heavy rain today. Other
Going right into the resource.
going into the resource area, despite your claim that nothing had been done in the area, there was evidence, visual evidence that vehicles had gone into the vernal pool site, whether it's to clear things or move things around, we don't know, we weren't there. So that's into the resource area.
But
So
the question is whether the activity was permitted under the regulations.
It's
Don't
not.
make up the
And
story.
we do not.
Don't make up the story. It's in the regulations.
We
We're
do not-
allowed to go
we
out
do-
there and do
No.
testing.
No, you're allowed to go in
No, no, don't tell me.
zone only with
Hey,
minor
we're not
impact.
gonna
Don't tell me what the regulations
Okay.
say. I know what they
Excuse me,
say.
Mr.
And CMR
Okay.
10.02.
Right. We're not gonna go back and forth on that. That's not gonna
Tell
happen
the
tonight.
commissioner that she doesn't badger me.
Excuse me,
I
going
do
back
know.
and forth, you're going back and forth here, so I'm gonna stop it right now. If you have anything else to add about the enforcement, so be it. If not, I want to give the other commissioner members, Steve's had a chance to respond, Ariane has. I want to give James, Pam, Nicole, Don, anybody else a chance to respond, ask questions.
I do have a question, actually.
Go ahead, Pam.
So Lou, you said that your intent is to preserve the vernal pool.
Yeah, that's our goal. I've stated that right from the beginning, even if, when we had the discussion at the last meeting that I was here, and they raised the issue, Beals and Thomas was on the Zoom, they said we should go out there and locate the culvert. That it would be important, and even in their report, they said it would be important to know the hydrology of the area. That's what we did. Now, at that meeting, I discussed, well, if there's a culvert there, which we didn't know about at the time, if there was a culvert there, that would change how this would be evaluated, because in the regulations, restoration of the culvert is permitted. So,
You would still have to apply for an NOI,
yes, exactly.
but you
But
went ahead and did the
restoration-
work without applying for an NOI.
No, we didn't restore it per se, because we just excavated out the inlet. I mean, there's a lot more work there that has to be done before it's restored, and there is no flow there, so I don't know what you're talking about adversely impacting the resource area, because
So
didn't
my
actually impact
specific
anything.
question is, in an email that you sent to National Heritage, you said, Wall Street has exposed the existing culvert and will allow flow to resume through the culvert this winter 2025 and spring 2026. Whether vernal pool habitat exists at that time will be reevaluated. It would be Wall Street's expectation that NHESP will revisit the certification at this time. That is an exact quote from your words. Can you
correct.
explain that?
Well, did you read the earlier emails that support what I was talking about?
I don't
Because-
think the earlier emails supported what you were talking about.
Well, I think they do, and I'm not gonna get into it because it's a legal matter at this point. I think you really have to read that entire series of emails, because we kept Natural Heritage very informed with what we were doing and why we were doing it.
I would say
And-
that statement disagrees with your stated intent this evening to preserve the vernal pool habitat, and I think that is confusing.
Well, maybe it is, but I'm not gonna discuss it because it's a legal matter at this point.
Okay. Other commission members?
One comment, and I'm trying to understand what it is we're, lack of a better phrase, chasing here. And I want to separate actions that may not have been stated clear or not. I'm not gonna pass judgment on that. Hannah's probably the best advocate. Well, let me finish. Being a person that makes his living in construction, especially renovations, existing conditions are an element to that restoration. And to get those drawings accurate require a certain amount of invasive work. It's the nature of the beast. And clearly there's a a culvert there, we would have asked him to provide information on those existing conditions. I probably would have been the one that asked for
Steve,
it.
in the
To help
Beals and
establish what the existing vernal pool is. And I don't know how you get those outlet elevations without going and finding them.
You can do a deed search to see if there's existing information that has plans already. If it doesn't, you would come back and say, we might have to go.
So is it our intent to leave it plugged?
No, the question of enforcement order and what you're trying to get at, what are we trying to do here? What we're chasing after is the fact that the area was exposed. We were not notified as we should have been.
Procedural thing I separated.
Not completely, because impact was done to the site. Actual physical impact was on the site, documented by photographic evidence. The applicant may not agree with whether you have the right to do
It was
it.
negated.
So the enforcement order is actually fairly simple. It just says, and I'll read the sections that need to be done. Cease and desist from all further activities within the buffer zone on Boxer Street within map lots 1 and lot 4. Immediately upon receiving this order, stabilize the work site with erosion and sedimentation controls
Fair
to
enough.
prevent any further mitigation, further mitigation of sediments into state and local jurisdictional areas. Rehang flag A4, which I guess came down or whatever. Attend the conservation meeting tonight to discuss it, which he's doing. Submit a restoration planning plan to the conservation office by 10:15 for discussion at the conservation meeting on 10:22.
Will this include plugging the culvert?
It doesn't say that.
So what's he do with them?
Let's see what.
What does he do? The culvert's now open.
Right.
So does he plug it?
Well, there's 2 more points. Jurisdictional areas must be restored by 11/19 in accordance with the restoration plan submitted by the applicant. So we're asking for restoration plan from the applicant approved by us. Erosion controls shall remain in place until the site is stabilized after the restoration efforts are complete. If you do not meet the established deadlines identified above, so forth. So we are looking to put it back to the way it was before, it was plugged, but it doesn't say plug the hole back up.
So-
It's the area, a wide area around the hole was excavated. It's not just the hole was dug out with a little auger or something like that. I think the intent is have a restoration plan to restore that area, stabilizing controls and erosion controls in place are a basic thing that nobody disagrees with, but we're not done and still have not been done. And that's it. That's the scope of it. It's not undoing the work. It's not saying you can't do test pits down the road or do more exploratory down the road with a proper notification approvals and so forth. It's not saying that, but
Well, it's not saying what we wanted to say, which is if you don't ask us to restore it, okay, we're restoring the culvert, we'll stabilize it so that water will flow through the culvert. That's what we're gonna do. That's what you're suggesting is in this enforcement order.
no, it says you will come up with a restoration plan, which we'll look at and review. We don't know what you're gonna, we don't know what you're gonna propose. We're not telling you what.
I'm gonna propose to keep the culvert open.
Right,
That's what I'm proposing.
and the area around it, you're gonna do something to it. Probably, that's part of a restoration plan. I'm not gonna try to design a plan for you. You come up with something. That's what's being asked for. A couple of simple, we think are fairly simple basic things.
My suggestion is, if you're interested, is that when we come in with our revised plans at your next meeting, hopefully, you will see as in connection with that culvert, a restoration of how we're gonna either replace and restore that culvert and enhance whatever we need to do to properly protect the vernal pool. That will be in the next plan. I think this is all semantics is what you're talking about.
There's a
If
major.
you want erosion control there, I agree with you, fine. But we should have had something there. I agree with you 100%, okay? Not debating that. All I'm saying is that it didn't require an enforcement order to pick up the phone and say, hey, we know you're out there, you're allowed to do your testing, but
We didn't know you were out there. That's the point.
I'm not required to give notice when I'm doing testing.
Then
It's not
be
in the
what it-
regulations.
Then be what it is. The enforcement
Okay.
order went in place because
So-
in part because we're not notified, but
So if you say to me tonight,
yes.
please, if you would go out there and install some silt sock around the exposed area that's been excavated to prevent erosion into the, whatever the resource area is, the BVW, fine. But it's gonna stay open while we're in this planning process, because I have no idea what the engineers are going to need. If they have to go back out there, if they have to do additional survey.
You just.
You'll have that
When
you'll
you
have
say
that-
engineers, do you mean your road engineers?
Yeah. the
Okay,
people
you're not
who
talking about
design
wetland
the-
scientists or wetlands engineers.
No, well, Goddard and Allen Engineer, it's a team effort, the regulatory aspects under the Wetlands Protection Act is,
Yeah.
Goddard's expertise and stormwater calculations and measuring how much water is gonna go through a pipe and whether or not it meets the regulatory stormwater management compliance requirements, that's the engineers.
The
So-
hydrological study portion, or your engineers can be looking at
Yeah,
hydrological.
exactly. Well, they've already done the calculations.
Not
for the water
calculations just for flow, I'm talking about hydrological, what the impact would have been if that had not been opened up, which now it's a moot point because it has been opened up. We
Well,
plan on leaving it opened up.
maybe it's not a moot point, because I believe this is a certified vernal pool. correct?
It is certified, yes.
So
It-
to
but-
be a certified vernal pool, it can have an opening where water flows out of it.
Hey, what?
Can't have an opening where it connects to another one, so.
It may have had one initially, partially crushed or not, we don't know.
It's really blocked,
Blocked, right?
and now it's not.
So my point is,
So
and I
it's
think,
gonna be destroyed to be certified vernal pool.
so my. We can't. So my question to the commission is. Do we agree that we want to proceed with getting a hydrological study done of the impact, which we talked about at the last meeting, but did nothing on getting it done by the applicant or other resources
I think.
to
we-
find out what it will take to protect the vernal pool? I mean, we talk about protecting it, but we don't know what it'll take. It may mean that a culvert can't be put in there. It may mean a culvert has to be a certain size. It may mean that other engineering things have to be done in order to maintain it. But the first question is, what will it take to maintain the quality and preserve the vernal pool, which is immediately adjacent to this road? So,
So Chairman, you're gonna have that information with the next revision. Trust me, you will have that information to know exactly what the impacts, what water will be held back by the structures that we put in.
but the impacts to the vernal pool. are
The impact, the vernal pool is gonna be there.
No, that's,
It's gonna, if the water is still gonna be there, let me preface that by saying, if the vernal pool was legitimately established, okay, which is still in question. If that's the case, then the pool is going to be there no matter what.
you're not a wetland scientist, I'm not. a wetland
I
scientist.
can-
I can't state that.
I
think you
can.
should state that, and I'm not asking you to comment anymore, that I'm asking the commission members at this point in time, do you want to proceed with trying to get a study done? Or wait and see what Mr. Petrosi provides for information from his experts, and then decide if you want a further study? Again, the question is
Like,
to preserve, what's that, environmental study, focus not on the engineering and what water levels need to be maintained.
Like, you want them to run a model.
Exactly, or that maybe that's the best interpretation, yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's
something, go ahead.
I think the one thing that I was, I don't, maybe didn't explain enough on here was, I guess, what other information do you need to conduct a hydrologic study?
I'm not the engineer. I told them what I needed for information that I thought the commission would require.
Right, so I
And so
think,
they run the calculations, they can document for you how much water is going to be held back with a 12-inch pipe. And then how much extra, we know that the water gets to a certain level where it tops the road, right? So the original intention was to put this box culvert
right,
at the elevation of the roadway that it is now, so that the water would still be held back in the pond and it would trickle out when it got to a certain height. Now, that has not affected supposedly the vernal pool, because the water is already, you talk about an outlet,
Right.
it's already
Okay.
there.
One point, put a pause on that for a second, go ahead, Hannah, finish your
I just,
point.
I
Yeah,
was
go
just
ahead, sorry.
asking, like, what additional information, because now you've excavated it, you have your culvert elevations. I guess, as far as modeling goes for hydrology studies, what other information like, why does it, like,
Isn't that the same
is
answer?
just requesting it for it to go back while those hydrologic studies are conducted? What other information do you need?
But I'm not gonna do that, because we're entitled to have that culvert restored, so that's the goal.
You just agreed about 10 minutes ago that if you were going to do that, you'd need to file an NOI, which you did not.
So, fine.
Is that correct?
So what do you want me to do?
We're.
I have a notice of intent right here now.
Not for that.
Well, I do.
You do
for that
not, you
work.
do not have an NOI that includes
Listen, I'm not gonna-
clearing an existing
listen.
culvert
I'm not gonna argue.
4 feet from a BBW.
So what?
It does not, that does not include
Is
your
it in the
application.
resource area?
It's within our jurisdiction.
So what?
What do you mean, so what? That's why you're here, Lou.
That's not why I'm here. I'm here because I have a notice of intent.
In our jurisdiction. You file a notice of intent because you're within our jurisdiction. That's
not
what
gonna-
this regulatory authority is for.
Really?
Yes,
It doesn't
I
mean
have
that you
no
have
idea.
notice of intent in front of us, you can do anything.
right. Like, I don't understand the fight here. I really do not.
So
You want
we're
me to
gonna
put-
restore the culvert,
Hold on a
right?
second. You want me to block, your enforcement order says restore the
Yes,
culvert.
Yep.
I'm not blocking the culvert back up.
I think
So
you
do
are.
whatever, if you go on my property, which that roadway is, don't block it up.
A portion of that road.
Please,
is
Well,
please
be careful what you're
restore the
saying.
You should be, you should do the title, okay, which I do. Things before I get into these situations. Do the title, have your town council do another title and see who's right again. All right, please. Don't argue with me, okay? I'm doing what I have to do based on the regulations, based on the commission's preference. If you're worried about the vernal pool, we'll see in the spring whether or not it's still a vernal pool.
I'm not arguing. I fully agree with needing to do test pits. I'm in the same boat as Steve. I work in the construction industry. I fully understand it. What I don't understand is the disconnect with that being a temporary action. And you wanting to permanently leave it is not a temporary action.
If you approve the plan that we present, it won't be a temporary action.
You guys can't dig down 0.6 feet.
That's what the
with a
ground's made of. That's.
We did you.
I mean,
we
also
did
Beal
know.
specifically said when you asked for clarification about this, Lou, that you did not need to dig an additional test pit to locate this culvert. So
No,
anything
no,
that
no,
you
the
did was
second part.
additional.
No.
Yeah,
didn't-
that correct. They
they-
said you did not need to dig anything to locate this second test culvert. They said it was not necessary.
But we
We all have
didn't.
those emails.
We didn't. Originally, we were going to dig additional test holes in the center line of the roadway to find a second culvert. But when we got the information that said that it was pure, like, conversation, there was nothing verified, they never saw it, then we did not do that additional testing in the middle of the roadway. And just so you know, I mean, when the planning board requires us to do test holes down the center line of that roadway, which we did do months and months ago. Nobody raised any questions about whether or not we needed to do it back then. Now, all of a sudden, you think that we're doing something illegal. We're not required, and there's no obligation for us to tell you when we're going to do testing. Our obligation is to do the testing that we need to complete our survey requirements or deep hole testing or whatever it is. That's our requirement. We're not supposed to give you, we don't have to give you notice when we're doing it.
You have to when it's not a minor activity.
It is a minor
It
activity.
was not a minor.
Okay. Listen, get your attorneys involved.
That's enough on that. Any other points that you think we need to make, observations? Okay, so we have a decision to make at this point in time, unless commission members have
And
another.
this- But to answer your question, I would like to see the historical hydrology and the proposed hydrology, so I can compare the changes.
Yeah, not the hydrology with the 12-inch pipe functioning. The hydrology with the 12-inch pipe as it was before.
Well,
the
that would be proposed, but the historical would go back, in my mind, to when the pipe, why is that pipe there?
If we can find that information
Yeah,
25 years ago.
certainly spec-
Yeah,
Steve, I'm
so-
curious if that's relevant because the vernal pool exists now, and so it's our jurisdiction to try and protect it.
How are you gonna modify a road and not address the pipe that crosses it?
No, I'm just saying, like, why do we need to know the previous conditions? Why can't we just look at the conditions that there are now and make our decisions based on protecting the resource areas?
Because that pipe has a purpose.
I don't know if I agree with your.
At least have.
So I wanna make sure I understand you, Pam, that people go around installing culverts in roads for no reason.
No, Steve, I didn't say that. what I'm saying is,
I
whatever
said,
reason they
despite having
installed it
purchased, you
for,
said you didn't agree
the
with that.
the um the conditions that exist now and have created a vernal pool, and I believe that that is our jurisdiction to protect.
I understand. I feel it's important to know how that happened.
As best we could determine it.
Yes, and it was a breach in the original hydrology that may have created the vernal pool. And if we want that vernal pool to stay, then we have to be clear in that understanding so we know that there'll be that pipe does not get repaired or replaced.
Well, I think they'll be able to calculate that. The engineers certainly will.
I think that's the hope with the next set of information that we receive. The question is there anything else that we need to receive, or do we just wait for the applicant to come back to the next meeting and say, this is the information from the engineering study, the hydrologic study, and determine whether we have enough information to act
I'm
on?
trying to set an expectation on what we're going to receive. So we're not sending them back and forth.
Chairman, it's my opinion that we need to continue with the enforcement order with the amount that lawyers and court is being spoken about by Mr. Petrosi. I think it would be in our best interest to continue with the enforcement order.
Any other comments from commission members about that? No?
No, without more information.
So while things look like they would be proceeding beyond this point for another meeting, at least, the question is whether we want to have actions taken now to at least address the stabilization erosion control of those portions and the cease and desisting of actions currently until we receive a restoration plan of some sort from the applicant, which is up to them to decide how much they're gonna propose in that plan. It's on them, not on us. For the area, and interpret that whatever way they choose to based on the enforcement order. So if we want to do that, that's one option, not sign off on the enforcement order and, what's the term?
Ratify.
Ratify, thank you.
Yep.
Ratify.
Either
is not
modify
right.
and ratify, or just not take any action and then it wouldn't go into effect.
So,
And the enforcement order restores it to its previous condition.
Not
wording-
necessarily. It's just a
the wording-
restoration plan.
to submit a restoration.
Okay.
Plan.
Which will be at our next meeting.
Right, and erosion control staying in place, the most important thing and critical thing right now. It doesn't say to what state exactly, that was left out, but. Don't mean to say that.
Well,
Okay.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Why don't we just, I don't know if we can just agree that I will have erosion control put around the excavated areas to prevent any erosion into the resource area. Let's set this aside till the next meeting, because I think you will have information that will answer a lot of your questions and address the issue of whether or not the vernal pool will be affected in any adverse way. And this I don't know what a hydrological study that we're referring to here. There are different studies that require us to do groundwater and other things. Those are hydrological studies. I'm not quite sure.
I'm not probably using the right word. A hydrological meaning definitely affecting, involving water. But
The watershed.
so what does that mean? Say that.
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm not on the HNA, I'm talking about the environmental side of things, not the engineering strip.
All I can tell you is I'm pretty assured that you're gonna get the information that you need at the next meeting or at the next submittal.
All right, I hear that they're looking to do at least a portion of what is in the current enforcement order, just to be clear with the commission members, of the portions that still remain as a question mark. Do we want to have the applicant, because this is a modify option here too, it's not just, this is the only way the enforcement order can go forward. It's up to the commission members. What do you feel about having the applicant, as it states now, provide, not to do a restoration plan, but to provide one by the next meeting? So they have that in place for us to review if that is going to move in that direction. Whether the restoration plan involves putting it back to the original semi-flood condition or something else, that's up to the applicant. It doesn't specify that exactly. Question is, do we want to leave that in there? What? Am I missing
I
something?
thought you were talking about when do we want to have it?
No, I just want to know whether the commission wants to include that in the current being discussed enforcement order. We seem to have the applicant agreeing, you're all hearing this, that sedimentation control, erosion control, which is one of the first things stated in the enforcement order, would be in place right away. The second question, and another item that's on there, is coming up with a restoration plan. The applicant's doing this by the next meeting, the 15th. Oh, no.
22nd.
Yeah, the 15th is just a week before.
Yeah, sorry.
Just
For the meeting.
But you can
on the
change
22nd,
that.
Right,
if
right,
you
yeah.
like.
So that they have that in place, doesn't mean they have to do it, just means that we're asking that it be provided at that time for us, so that that information be available for us to act on, not act on, or whatever. That question is now before you all. Do you want to include that in there or not include that in there?
There's a
believe
third
include.
element-
No,
There's a
let's take one
third
at a time.
element that I'd like to,
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. I just want to do it one at a time again. So Pam, sorry, say that again.
I said include.
So you feel it should be included, to at least
Yes.
provide a plan. Okay. Anybody else in the commission? What do you
I'm
think?
confused. I thought that was already included.
It's in the enforcement order. The question is, do you want to leave it in there? You can take it out now. You can modify the enforcement order right now. That's one of the three options. Sam just said, modify, don't modify, or just don't act on it and it goes away.
I'd like, yeah, I would leave it on there.
Okay. And then we'll-
I
okay.
agree.
yeah.
What's your third point, Tom?
What do we do with, what's gonna be done to the digging that's already been done around the culvert between now and in the future? Is it left, I don't know what it looks like. Is it left exposed?
Well, you saw some
Is it-
pictures that.
Yeah,
Mr. Pedroia
yeah.
showed, and
Does
others.
it stay as is during this time period? Is there
That's,
no additional work, or
I
there is
think-
additional
I
work?
think that's.
How does that get defined?
Anna can correct me or amend this if I'm saying it wrong, but I think in the intent of the providing the restoration plan, that's where the discussion come out. Okay, what are we gonna do around
No,
that
but I mean
area?
between now
And
and then.
next
I'm
week,
just looking for
2 weeks,
definition.
in
I'm
2
looking
weeks, you
for,
mean?
That's the.
I'm looking
cease
for
and desist.
clarity.
For now,
On-
the site's stabilized and no
We're not gonna
additional
be,
action.
we're not doing any more work out there. We've done all the work that we need to do to expose the
Okay.
culvert. We're not out there just randomly doing this stuff. We only do it when we. it's
Yeah, I wasn't
necessary.
suggesting that you
Yeah.
were randomly doing things.
So-
I was just looking for clarity on the definition
Yeah.
of what, so that there's no argument next time about, I thought you meant this, I thought you meant that. I just want clarity, specificity and clarity.
Mr. Chair, can I ask one specific question on this? Lou, was the existing road surface, the top in the middle of the road, did that soil get disturbed?
In
Was
those,
there any digging there? I understand it would have been disturbed as equipment rolled on it, but you didn't remove any soil from the top.
I thought he
They
said there
did
was like
the
a
pipe, so
split in
you
the
know,
pipe,
flood
yeah.
pipe, yeah.
yeah, we
The
excavated.
ends or the
No, the
entire?
pipe was in the
In the
middle,
We
middle.
excavated down to the top of the pipe
in the road.
in the road, in the center line of the road.
As the circle or all the way across?
We did one hole here. And then we did, as I mentioned earlier, we measured across to see where the end of the pipe was blocked. And that's where we done. So we weren't, if you can
So
see
yes,
right
the
here,
road
we're
was-
not in the resource area, we're just on the shoulder of the roadway of the gravel
So
road.
should that pool top the road again, it's gonna really
Around.
crater that hole,
Which is why the erosion
No,
control is so critical.
yes.
You're not gonna see any water there for another 3 months. So, I agree with you, during a storm event like we had today, there could have been some erosion and we're willing to go there and put some erosion control at the base of that, but we weren't in the resource area. We did have a mini, as you can see, a mini excavator that was there. We're trying to figure out what was the best way to maneuver that equipment. He did go in. Didn't do any excavation while he was in there. There were some tracks, like, saw the pictures. We didn't alter anything. He didn't have time. He couldn't move the equipment between the trees without knocking trees down, so we had him do it the other way around. It's more difficult. But because we wanted to make sure we weren't gonna damage any trees or knock any trees down, we had him do it from the roadway itself, and that's why you see the stuff dug back this way as opposed to into the resource area, so there was no alteration of the ground, we didn't do any excavation in the resource area. Went in there, couldn't work, came out. Plain and simple, so,
So the resource area just ends before the culvert?
excuse me,
The resource area just ends before the culvert?
the resource area is outside of the culvert. In other words, Hannah's photographs show tracks in this direction right here. Show it inside, but the end of the pipe is here. So he couldn't work in this area because there are too many trees there. So he came out and he dug it from this side. Not in the resource area, not even in, not in the resource area. We were 3 or 4 or 5 feet away from any potential flag that was there. Totally foolish.
Okay, additional questions from commission members?
I would just say, and I don't think this is like necessary, but maybe going forward, we have a date for when it must be restored by, but maybe we should just put like like 30 days after we approve or something like that. Just in case.
To make
we
a
don't-
motion to amend the area.
Yeah, I also want to say it too.
I think that's a good idea.
Timing wise.
Yeah, you can amend it, I can make a note and then you can ratify it from there.
You just have to sign the signature.
And then I'll just, yeah. And then I'll,
Ship it off.
yeah.
So
ship it
do you
off.
want to make a notation there to make a modification? Because we need to specify something for Hannah.
So I'll make a motion to modify number 6 on page 15 of PDF. Jurisdictional areas must be restored within 30 days of approval of the restoration planting plan by the Bellingham.
If
Conservation
one is.
Commission.
I second.
Any other discussion on that? Seems pretty straightforward. Now we've replaced what is currently in place there for that, the specific date. What was the date for the
11/19.
11/19? Any other comments, questions about that? Steve?
Erosion control, I'd like to see those put in immediately, like this week.
And that's stated in there that this, if the enforcement order has been placed, it says immediately upon receipt of the order, stabilize the work site with erosion control.
Is that doable, Lou?
I think so, it's not very, it's only about 20 feet of erosion control, I mean, it's not a lot of stuff there.
Do we have, I'm concerned about the test pit in the middle of the road.
I'm gonna fill that in now.
Okay,
We, like I said, we left it open there because the engineers had to locate that break.
because it's probably at the low point, which means the water running down the road from, well,
Uphill. As well as being a potential safety hazard, you're talking about public safety.
It
and
is
so
safe,
forth.
it is more of a.
so you're gonna fill that in.
That's
Correct?
what.
All right,
So
so
we're good with that?
what's that?
We're good with that?
Filling it in, that's part of.
Part of the,
Restoring the road, yeah.
The roadway is, we were more focused on the area, the inlet side, on this enforcement order. But your point taken, that.
it'll wash into the wet.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right, it would do that, that's why the erosion control is
Keep in
critical.
mind that, the road, it's a gravel road, so anytime it rains, it's going into the wetlands anyway, so I mean, we're talking about semantics here, the roadway is gravel. When it rains, the water doesn't go into a storm basin, it goes
Yeah, all right,
off the
so.
side, so.
Point made, however, work has been done on the road, if you're restoring the road to as original a condition as you can possibly do so from the areas that you dug up. I think that's the intent of Steve, make sure that does happen, so it doesn't make the situation any worse by man-made activity, regardless of how much rain comes down. Okay, any other commission points? We have that one modification, we're voting on the modification by Ariane first.
Not the whole thing, just.
Not the whole thing, just that, okay, so the modification to have it within 30 days of approval by the restoration plan. I'll do a roll call vote with Pam online. Pam,
Aye.
and Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Marion,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
James.
Aye.
My guy, okay, so that's modification to the existing order, enforcement order, sorry. Any other changes or suggestions for modifying or altering the existing enforcement order, which is pretty basic, goes with some vegetation control, I think we've covered everything. Okay. I'll look for motion to accept and ratify, if that's the intent of someone on the commission. Any motion?
Make the motion.
Yeah, make a motion to ratify, I think that's what you
Actually,
see right
I
hand.
actually have one,
Oh, sorry.
can we change 1, 2, 3? The 5th bullet is submit a restoration planting plan. Can we
Yeah,
change just a
that was-
restoration
There
plan?
was nothing there to begin with.
Okay, well, so we're modifying that. What are you proposing, James?
take out the word
Do
plant.
planting.
Yep.
Just restoration plan, okay, that's simple.
That was kind of an oversight.
So moved.
Okay.
The erosion controls says shall remain, they're not there, there's something,
In number 2. Put that
I was
there.
looking at page 5 of 15.
okay,
on the
got it.
enforcement order too, which does state.
Yeah.
All right, so we had a second from Ariane to James's motion to modify and take out the word restoration, planting from restoration. Planting, whatever item, that was the third one?
Yeah.
Fifth one, okay. Any other comments about that? Modification, all right, Pam,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Ariane.
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
James.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Yeah, so on that, okay, now we're back to, unless the commission members have any other comments or changes, modifications. The enforcement order as it is now modified. Okay. Hearing and seeing none, I'll roll call vote again. Pam,
Wait, what are we doing?
we're voting on ratifying, I'm sorry,
Yep, ratifying.
wait a minute, I wanted to see, make sure we get this right because of previous. Who has made the motion to ratify or not? Somebody has to actually make the motion. We talked about
I'll
modification
make
last.
the motion to ratify the enforcement order subject to the changes that we just voted on.
Okay, I need a second.
Second,
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Now, any other questions about that? Okay. Pam,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
James.
Aye.
Mike, aye. Okay, so yeah, it's on that. So the enforcement order will be amended, modified, issued to, Hannah will make those changes and issue it to Lou and from there we'll proceed to the next item, which would be, so let me just pause for a second for the people in the audience here who may be attending or butters and so forth. As you've heard, gone back and forth quite a bit on this. I don't want to continue on with what will probably be needing to be put off until we get some more information. I think people should, I hope, in the room here have a sense that we're acting on this seriously. We take action when it seems appropriate in the ways that we're advised to take action, and ask that you keep posted on this and informed on this. If you have questions or observations or things that you'd like to communicate, we don't want to hold that up. I'd like to ask you to channel that and send that to Hannah, direct those comments, questions via email or a phone call to Hannah. And she will make notes of them. She'll ask for your contact information, so forth, so we can get back to you for clarification if we need it. We know people living in the area are interested in what's going on in the area. We applaud that. We encourage active resident involvement. This is our community and we want to do the best things for our community. So I'm not trying to cut things short, but I also want to keep things very focused in the way that they need to be right now to keep things moving in a, what we hope will be positive direction, whatever the outcome ends up being. So having said that, I will now ask if the applicant is willing to continue.
Yes.
Next hearing, okay. So I will look for a motion to continue this hearing to the evening of till the 22nd.
I'll make that motion.
Second. James, thanks. Any other discussion? Okay, Pam,
Aye.
Nicole.
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve,
aye,
James, sorry. Mike, okay. So 7:00, for a second.
Can't wait. Thank you
Please,
very
please,
much.
please provide any information, hand those.
Trying to, I hope to get to it as quickly, get into it quickly. Do we anticipating that we're gonna have Bales review the information that was submitted, or how do you want to handle that?
What? You haven't
Yeah.
submitted any information.
Huh? Well, we submitted the original, which they,
Right.
yeah, when we submit the revised plans.
Yeah,
Addressing
there
the,
definitely won't be enough time between
I
now and the
understand.
next meeting for
Yeah,
them
so-
to get eyes on that.
we're gonna try and address those comments that Bales has made in the plans, because some of them just, locating flags and other things like that.
Yep.
And then, they're not reviewing the stormwater, so. I don't
Well,
know.
they are for planning, right? And
Right.
that, they got the
So-
first letter in for that as well,
Right,
right?
right.
And that's what you were waiting for to
Yeah.
move forward,
Yeah.
the rest of it.
So, planning board asked me not to, continue until November 8th, so we'll have a couple of shots at discussing this information, and I'll rely on Scott Goddard and the engineers to tell you the answers to your questions, best they can. I really, I can only tell you what I've told them,
Okay,
and they work for me, so.
we'll wait to see what they provide.
Right.
please PDFs,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
and we're gonna get it all by the 15th.
They told me they'd have it done by Friday, so this is Wednesday, so we'll see.
And erosion is starting,
I'll get the erosion off by Friday for sure. Now we're talking about a silt sock right now.
I'm deferring to the administrator.
Whatever, and around the excavated area.
that test pit compacted.
Yeah, yeah. Take care of that.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you very much.
Please notify Hannah when you guys think that, just so she knows.
Exactly. Maybe you should call me when she wants to go out there. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a continued hearing for a notice of intent for Lakeview Avenue. Construction of a single family home within the buffer zone to BBW. Quarry Developments LLC, Blackstone is the applicant and Self-Ajoy is the representative. Do we have information on that?
No, so I guess.
I'm still.
No, I got a request for a continuation, so
Oh, you
I'm
haven't
assuming
heard
we
from
could,
them?
no, I haven't heard from them at all, so I'm not sure if we continue to the next one or November, I'm not sure what would be better.
Without the, can we do that without
Oh,
the
yes.
applicant?
Yeah, if they don't,
If they don't respond, we can continue if we want to. The question is, do we want to?
Do we want to continue?
Yes.
Well, if
I
we
would
don't
definitely
continue, we'd
recommend.
have to close it and
Yeah.
either issue an order and deny it. So I say we continue.
Well,
But they're not responding, correct?
right, yeah, I haven't heard from him in like.
We're not
a week
sure
and a
why,
half,
whether
but
it's-
it's
Yes.
been, it's only been, this is the first meeting that we haven't had like a response to a continuation request, so I would, if it, goes on for another 2 meetings, I would definitely say that.
Do
that
we
would be-
have like a really booked up October 22nd or not?
No, at the moment, I mean, at the moment, it's MBTA,
and it may
and then
held up
Blackstone.
because
So
of,
it's just black.
and then there'll be another, I did just get a new application in, so
And-
we have 3 right now.
there might be, it might be because of septic, it might be because of other design things, planning board and us, but
This one, I
we don't
think is gonna be quick too. We had like 3 or 4 questions that they had to get figured out, and once they're done, I think everyone was fine, so. Yeah,
and DEP, I don't think had much.
Should we
in way.
do like the following meeting?
no, we only have like 2 or 3.
We continue, and if they get no response, we just continue. Again, if we do, we can give it a limited time if the meeting fills up and have them come back again. I mean, at this point in time.
Motion to continue to October 22nd, I said.
All right. If we have first and second, any other discussion about Lakeview Ave? Hearing and seeing none. Don?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Pam?
Hi.
Ariane?
Aye.
Steve? Aye. James?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so continue to this evening of October 22nd at 7 P.M. All right, there's another, a number of other items on the agenda, other business. Do we have an Eagle Scout here? Come forward, come in, and anybody you want to bring up the front with you, that's fine. Please feel free to come right up. Thank you. Can you introduce yourself and your.
This is my dad and I am Carter Martin.
Kurt?
I'm 15 years old, trying to get my Eagle Scout. And I want to get some work done at the Silver Lake Island.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping to get the go ahead today.
Hey, great. Well, congratulations on working on the Eagle Scout project. I know that's an accomplishment. Quite a bit of, I mean, yeah, you take a lot of pride in that. You had provided some information to Hannah, which she has passed along to the commission members. Commission members have had a chance to get that report hopefully and review some of the information. Do you want to just give like a 2-minute description of what you're proposing that you'd like to do?
Yeah, so I am hoping to clean up the entrance to the island, make it more accessible for boats to dock there. Like be able to get out and not have to worry about getting your feet wet or getting your boat like having a good spot to put your boat so it doesn't float away.
Mm-hmm.
On the trails that are already existing, there are a lot of brush that should be cleared away because it's gonna like scrape out your legs and when you're walking on there. And yeah, there's also low hanging branches you can see on the pictures.
Mhm.
for a lot of the brush that I would like to like remove and cut back. Um. Do you want me to, like, put it to the side or
Well,
take
that'll
it
be my
off?
next question, and
Yeah.
other commission members might too. What is your interpretation or your recommendation or desire to do based on what you think would be the best for the site, obviously?
I mean, for the site,
If it's a small amount of stuff, you could just probably
Yeah.
drop it by the side of the trail. If it's large stuff, does it need to be cleared? So would you need some assistance from somebody from the town, for example, to provide some off trekking of, materials to the local recyclers, compost site, whatever, big branches and so forth, they can't be easily pushed off to the side.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, like, big branches and stuff, I can always just take it back on like the kayak or canoe.
Careful.
Yeah.
We've.
Well, I mean, not like giant branches. but
Okay,
like,
thank you.
Like big, like, yeah,
I think
Can I offer a suggestion?
small.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Can I offer a suggestion?
yeah,
Um. Cut up small things, so that you don't have 5 foot lengths. You
yeah,
can cut them up and you can then sort of repopulate the forest floor around the trail with that. Keeps the natural,
Scattering about.
scatter it about.
alright,
I thought I remember seeing, a pretty good sized deadfall, like a tree that had
That was
fallen.
mentioned in the report.
Yeah, and it was mentioned in the, so I'm just for safety reasons, and what's your plan on how you're gonna cut through that?
I don't think that I need to cut through it based on how far the trail is gonna go back.
Okay.
The trail it splits at one point.
Yep.
And on the right is where that deadfall, that big.
Okay, so
thing
you're
is.
gonna
So I'm
stay to
gonna-
the sort of left of it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yep.
scoop left of it, and then on that left,
Mhm.
there's no existing trail there, and I was hoping to be able to clear out, it's all like low brush, like
Yeah.
less than a foot tall, just like cut back at that, like 2 or 3 feet wide, and then it'd be like a
Okay.
loop, and then we'd go back.
And I think that, I don't know if it's still there, but there was some, sort of trash and stuff that was around. Do you have a plan on how you wanna handle that?
I can just take it on a boat, like none of the trash that was there was giant, it's all pretty small.
Litter.
Yeah,
Litter more than-
Yeah,
okay.
there was some metal remnants I remember seeing last year, so just be careful if there's anything big. I just don't want to see you get injured.
Gloves doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be nasty.
Any car tires?
Car-
So then it's not wetland, that's how we know it's filling. There's car tires as well, okay, all right, that's very good, I think that's good. In the area that you would be clearing to the left around the deadfall and want to open that up with the low brush, is it sloped at all, is it pretty flat? I'm thinking of erosion control maybe needed.
It is a little bit sloped going down to the left, it kind of like,
Does it have like, I would say ferns and other stuff really low growing that you could leave in place and just cut the higher stuff? So people would see this is the way to walk, but it's not clear down to ground, because we don't want to create obviously an erosion situation. You wouldn't want to do that as part of trail creation,
yeah,
but we also don't want to have to import, bark mulch or something like that to put it down if possible. You want to keep this as a relatively easy project and easy to maintain too. So what are your thoughts in that area? I don't remember. I've never seen that.
a lot of the brush, I didn't see many ferns, I'm sure there is some.
Any kind of growth, just something to hold the soil down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty well covered with leaf litter,
Yeah,
and it's pretty thick. I didn't dig through it.
That's why I was talking about the slope too, if it's not.
Yeah,
not steep slope.
if I recall the exact area, it's a pretty modest. It's sloped, but it's not
Yeah.
pitch.
Yeah, it's not too steep.
Yeah.
Additional questions, oppositions, Steve?
So confirmation, all organic matter is gonna stay on the island? More or less?
If that's what we want, he's looking for direction.
Yeah. I think-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash removal, and this may sound kind of fussy, but there's a reason for it. Please put it in a sealed bag before you haul it off in the boat,
yeah, cause then,
in case the boat tips over. It's not floating, and again, that sounds fussy, but a project I worked on many years ago with the runway lights at Logan. We have at least 2 skips of tools lying in the bottom of the harbor.
Was it you that left it unsecured?
waves came in and
Bring out-
rolled the skiff.
Bring out old wounds.
The scouts have experienced the tipping of the canoes. before.
So tie it up, so the whole bag floats.
Alright.
And do you have a description of the trail marker, what that would look like and be made out of?
Of the trail marker, I was thinking like we could do, like spray paint on a tree. I don't know if that would be bad or if that's fine, if like, just like a spray paint like arrow or a square, mark trails.
That would fade.
He's thinking of the trail markings that you see like in the White Mountains. On those
Yeah,
trails.
those are
I'm not
brushed
sure
on.
what type of paint that is, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what he's thinking.
Oh, 2 yellow dots is one trail and.
Yes,
blue
yes,
dot
yes.
is-
How many trails are we talking
It
about?
would just be.
It'd just be
One,
one.
okay.
It's like,
Yeah, like those little circular reflective things that you can just nail into the tree.
oh yeah, those.
Might be a
A lot
little
of
more
that
permanent
red
and as Pam said, we want to make this low maintenance, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like minimal impact, but it's like reflective, so it catches your eye, like in the Blue Hills, they have.
And
the
Yeah.
lens to Put it in. Not like the paint that's just gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna have to upkeep the paint.
Is there any specific type of nail or that would like damage the tree that we should avoid?
So, at the Arnold Arboretum, what we did is when we put tags on the trees. So we don't put the screw all the way in, you kind of have
Screw or spin,
screw. So it'd be galvanized and it would be like sticking out a little bit. So you're not driving it all the way in because what will happen is that the bark will grow over the nail. But if it's sticking out a little bit, all you have to do is maybe every 5 to 10 years, you just back it out a little bit. But it won't grow over and cover the sign.
Is
It's like
there
a
a
quarter.
particular
Yeah.
height that should be? so people
Usually-
don't catch it?
Probably above DBH, which is diameter breast height, which is about 4.5 feet off the ground, so at least a little
Yeah, so
higher.
the
than 4.5
standard
feet.
in trail, at least in New Hampshire, the AMC is 4 to 5 feet.
Mhm.
Usually it's about 4.5.
Yeah, that's
You know,
DBH.
yeah. And then, so you don't do too many, think of it going in both directions, right? Going in, coming out.
Yeah.
And then where you put one on, you should be able to then visually see the next one.
Okay.
But it doesn't need to be 10 feet, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It can be, depends on the terrain. It's pretty flat there, it's treed, so maybe it's gonna be one every 30 feet or whatever.
Yeah, and they should be visually at the same height.
Right.
You know, I mean, so visually, that means that if there's a tree off in the distance, it might be like 6 feet up on the tree, but when you're standing back at the other one, it looks like it's the same, so that way it catches your eye. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And if you wanna look, Massachusetts has a standard for trail markings, you can Google it and it'll show you what the standard is.
Just convince your dad to get you a laser level.
Is
You can
there-
put the exact same line.
Is there a particular material we should avoid?
No, galvanized screws are the best.
And what about the marker itself?
I think they just have the metal reflective ones are like standard, pretty standard.
Try to get them at Home Depot or something.
Yeah, you can probably get them.
Get 'em on-
I'm
Amazon.
not exact, yeah,
Yeah.
Amazon, you can get
Amazon's
everything
easy.
on Amazon.
Definitely have him direct if he has any of those questions.
Yeah,
like, have
Nicole,
him, like, direct
expert
us
in this,
to
just for your reference, she,
Just trees, not trail
Just on
markers.
trees, but she knew what kind of screw, but I would have said nail, but screws better,
Yeah.
makes sense, backing it out.
Carter, is that it?
yeah.
Great idea.
Thank
Well
you.
done. You present yourself well. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other commission questions? Okay.
No, I just want to echo what Steve said. I think this is a great idea. I have canoed out there and I'm very excited to see the finished product.
I think that what we need to do also is have you provide a little bit of a plan, maybe how you'd like to have the public know that once you've done this great project, that it's now a resource area that is accessible again, when many people like Bill, who grew up in town for 40, 50 years, right? That knows the area well, that, hey, this is something people can go back to visit again and get activity back out there. We'd love to see activity out on the, resource area in the town like this, the commission owns. So yeah, that'd be great. We can, advocate that on the website. We can maybe have the town put something else on the more general website to support it and give you credit where it's due.
Get them
So
in the paper.
get in there.
Yeah.
Lead a canoe procession out there so they know which end to land on and I get the freeway. Any other questions, commission members? Okay, I don't know if we need a motion per se, but we appreciate you coming in. I
Yeah.
think you got a
Well
thumbs up
done.
from us to do that.
Oh, it looked like the last slide there was clean or remove fire pit. Did we come to a conclusion on that?
Oh, yeah.
Clean and remove, what was it? Fire pit?
Fire pit, yeah.
Yeah.
Little fire
It's just
pit.
it's a rock.
I think that the official, well, do we even have an official thing about
We're in the middle of a burn ban, people.
There's like
We follow up just to see if there's any restrictions on that would.
This-
There's
check-
like red flag laws for like.
Yeah,
not
we
burning.
don't want to encourage people to go out there and start fires and start
Yeah.
fire when they shouldn't be out there, but
Don't really want you to stick your hands in a fire pit, cause that's where a lot of people put their,
Throw balls.
Yeah, they like throw glass bottles.
there are things that are less.
Syringes.
Syringes.
Cause I was a kid.
Okay, so I think we'll, if you wouldn't mind, just keep in touch with Hannah about that part. She'll check on what if anything we'll do. I know we're not talking about disassembling the fire pit at this point in time or anything like that, but maybe if there's some obvious debris around it, the litter and so forth, you could clean up that. That'd be good enough for now, I think, and then see what Hannah says for additional stuff.
I would too add that the scouts have camped out on that island as well. Last time when we did it, we brought like one of those solar stoves and just put it front.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think it's
Generally,
nice when people bring their own things, especially safe things, but
Yeah.
if it comes down to them, someone going out there hanging out for a night or whatever,
Oh,
a bunch of kids, rather have them use a fire pit than just start a fire out in the brush
That's true.
and, get out of
Have a
control.
place for it.
Especially this time of year was so dry, although not yesterday, or today or earlier. Okay, yeah, so I think you have a thumbs up from us. Keep Hannah posted and thank you for coming in. Great job. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully it wasn't too much of a trial for you to
To come in at like 7:25, it was a little bit too
Sorry about that, a little,
early,
yeah, a little bit. Sometimes that's how hearing's good. Now you got a little taste of civic.
Good way to end the meeting, right?
Yeah, excellent.
Positive, good night.
All right, okay, 12 Unique Drive.
Restoration plan. Come on up.
Number 2. Just quietly waiting in the back.
So Hannah had provided Nicole's restoration plan as has been discussed at some length at the previous meeting, and I think what we're looking today is see if anybody had any additional questions or comments about it. It seems pretty straightforward. I think we've made the changes, Hannah, correct, that we were looking for in that, and all we're looking to do is
Just approve the planting.
approve the planting plan.
I would have gotten the order of conditions ready today for signing, but I just didn't have enough time, so that'll be coming to you by Friday and then it'll.
And that ties in very nicely to my next little administrative thing that Hannah's gonna mention.
Oh, dot loop, yeah, I think I mentioned it in our email, it's not relative to this, but just,
Well,
we have a new online signature platform because we ran out of free dot loops, so it's
Oh,
coming from a different.
and it's called what again? Refresh my memory.
She sent it in an email, right?
Yeah, come on, somebody's gotta remember this, I
Right,
didn't.
but we haven't actually seen one yet, right?
You actually have,
We've signed one. I
yeah.
didn't like it as much as that.
I
Oh,
know,
no,
it's
yes,
good.
that was, that was a way. It's not as easy as,
Maybe you.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm only mentioning that because we do have to sign off on your thing, so that will be coming up, it wasn't totally irrelevant.
And can I ask a dumb question, because I know we went over this 2 weeks ago.
Need a second number?
What, yeah. What's the difference between this and what we saw 2 weeks ago?
The plantings are smaller and there's a couple less because they didn't need to meet that. Because they proved that the trees were dead, so they didn't have to meet the planting requirements,
Because I just
so.
looked at it and like, it looked like 99% the same, so
Yeah.
it's like, what's?
And I just wanted to, I mean, Nicole was gonna come to present it to you guys, but I was like, I also didn't go to that second site evaluation, so I wanted to make sure it was all good before we, finished everything out. So.
I understand.
and because I missed the last meeting, I can still vote on this. I reviewed this. But I wasn't present for the last meeting.
Actually, yeah, so, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is just a procedural thing, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and I did site visit. and
Yeah.
I could. I just didn't want to screw it up.
Not needing to go through the whole planting plan again, which everybody's, I think, fine with, any other questions?
Is the plan still to get it in this year?
no, and that's another reason why I submitted this, so you have like a final updated document that you can reference. No, now we're saying that we're gonna, install it in the springtime.
That was the date of having everything in was by the end of next or beginning of next summer, so that was in line with the timeline for the approved order. That will be shared soon.
It's not the best time to try to put in plants and have them survive.
Yeah, okay.
The shrubs might float.
mean, they're sitting in a nursery, not planted anyways. So if they're in the ground and their roof wall's protected, it doesn't matter, they're not gonna grow anyways. I mean, I plant things until the ground's frozen. That's my philosophy.
They'll just-
Supposedly, maybe.
Yeah, they just lay dormant, it doesn't hurt them.
I do, I just.
So I would just take a vote on.
Okay,
approving
so-
the rest.
If there's no other pertinent discussion, we'll move this right along, and the commission members on
I
it.
would move to approve the restoration plan as proposed.
Okay?
A second, oh, sorry, let's fight.
I can't tell, go back to the video, who was first? Okay, let's say Nicole for now, okay, and, any other comment? For a second, okay, Don.
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Nicole,
Alright,
Marianne,
Aye.
Steve, all right, James,
Aye.
like I. Okay, unanimous, you got it, you're all set, thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank
And
you.
are you gonna send the, order of conditions to me?
I can email you a copy when it's, because I have to send the original copy to the applicant,
Okay.
and then I can send, or would it be easy, like, I mean, you could come pick it up from the office, because I could hand deliver it that way, but.
Yeah, I'll ask the applicant, cause
for
I know they
recording
need to
purposes and stuff,
record it.
Yeah,
and I don't know if they wanna do that, or if they want me to do that. so
okay, yeah,
I'll ask.
we can figure it out, but.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Nice night, thank you. Okay, next item on the other business is 175 North Lot A enforcement order. So, come on up.
I think from the email not make it into the portal yet.
Yeah, so that was a today.
Yeah, and first thing shocked me was the sizes of the trees. I'm like, 24-inch. How tall is that? How far is that?
Well, we're not talking TBH, right?
I don't know, that's what seemed to be saying.
No,
You know,
I think it-
24 numbers.
Yeah.
It's 24
Oh, yeah.
trees,
And then 12.
not 24-inch trees.
No, but then I'd have to look at.
12 to 18, 12 to 18.
Can you turn your own computer or would that?
It's 12 to 18.
Okay, yeah, no, it's still 12 to 18-inch eastern white pine. How tall would that be?
Well, that's height.
That's high,
That's
yeah.
12 inches high.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you make a request that people do things in TBH?
Yeah, somebody needs to be specifying height versus DBH, because I can interpret it either way.
I know.
And you're putting in a very big tree at big expense, or.
TBH is preferred.
Don, the
I
face
guess.
you
But
just
when
made.
either is put, I can interpret whatever way I want
That's
to.
right.
Lack of information allows the recipient of the information to interpret it any way they wish to. That's my view on things, and that's the way it is. There's no price on something at the store, it's free.
Like a 12 to 18 inch
Why that a lot?
line, that's like a half an inch TBH.
Okay,
It's like that big around.
all right, so we've seen a
Little baby.
Is that big?
last minute, very, very much last minute set of information that came in to members. Did any member not get a chance to see this last second submittal that Deanna flashed to us as quick as she could when she got us? With revised trees instead of just shrubs and so forth, which was in the
I'm
previous.
looking at it now and Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but ultimately the area disturbance has remained the same. The only thing we've changed is the actual species that are going in and how many there are going in.
Yeah.
Okay.
The areas has changed a little bit because now we have the planting area on the right side of the driveway.
Right.
And
Oh,
the way
from
from
the
the left, so
driveway
it's all
moving.
basically the same. though.
Right.
Yeah, I think this was just in response to, I think Steve had originally brought it up that he wanted to see like where the plantings were actually being proposed versus just numbers. and
Yeah, a layout
description.
plan.
Yeah.
When will this be done?
Well, we've already checked with the nursery, the plants are available, so we're hoping by the end of this growing season.
What nursery are you
before.
using?
Wetland plants and
Oh,
stuff.
okay. I was like, that's why they're so small.
And they got huckleberry?
Yeah, we called them yesterday, they gave me a list.
Wow, that's cool.
New England Wetland Plants has literally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Stuff
'Cause when I
never-
saw that,
stuff
I was
never
like,
even
I
heard
love
of.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of matches what's in that area, so. works out.
yeah, perfect.
So what are we discussing? Just giving them the go ahead to do it?
Yeah, basically, because that was, yeah, that would fulfill the
Enforcement.
The restoration.
approving the restoration
Who
plan.
did the layout?
Well, I took the stuff that Scott Heim, our wetland scientist, gave us, and I put it on the plan, so it's nice and legible.
Who determined what plant where?
Scott did. I'm not an expert on plants.
You know, a tree from a shrub.
Is it grass? Is that fake?
If you call it a shrub versus a bush, you already sound smart,
Well, it's like ship and boat.
right?
Boat
Yeah.
could go on a ship, but a ship can't go on a boat.
But what does a car go?
You have.
Where's the car go?
Does a car go on a boat or does a car go on a car?
Cargo goes in.
Or a
the
car.
I have a
Why
car.
are you driving it?
Answer for a different
Why
question.
do you park on a driveway and drive on a parkway?
That's the one.
We go on and on forever. Anyway, pertinent, relevant, anything, comments, questions, observations about the planting scheme as proposed? If it looks good to everyone, I
Get
would
it
look
done.
for a motion from Steve or someone else.
I would,
Okay,
you said
James?
Steve or someone else. so I-
Well, only because Steve was the one that seemed to have questioned it originally. Give him.
I make a motion to accept the planting plan as presented.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion, second. Any other comments, questions?
Is there anything else you're supposed to add to that motion?
As presented on the attached plan that Hannah's, we're gonna reference whatever that's called, so.
Oh, no, it's only finished once it's done. Yeah, yeah.
If it can't be done this season, please let us know.
I'll talk with the applicant. But that is
Do
the,
we have a deadline on the restoration plan? Be done by the summer, you said, right?
No, that was for the.
Right, your previous one,
but
so
this
that
one's
was-
by
Do we have a
that sort of growing season.
Do we have a survivability number in the enforcement order? Like what we're expecting to stay?
Fair point.
I think we have one in our bylaw.
The only thing is that huckleberry's a little
Like the
touchy.
75%.
That wouldn't be my
That's,
first.
as long as either that's referenced somewhere, so. that-
I mean, winterberry holly is a way better substitute.
We have something to.
It's survivability by time frame.
No, no, no.
Within, yeah, at the
I mean,
end
we'll
of
know
3
by
years.
next, if they get it in this growing season, we'll know by next growing season if these things have survived.
Can I suggest a different plant than huckleberry?
Where's the applicant?
you could suggest.
Huckleberry is very like difficult to establish,
Yeah.
like maybe to save you some trouble would be winterberry holly, which is like. A parallel to that, it has berries for wildlife to eat, it's a native, but I know they establish
Applications.
they establish way better. Huckleberries are a little finicky.
So same size, same number, just
Yeah.
swap out the
Well,
two.
Yeah.
is that just gonna push this off now? Because if it's not available,
You could just
They're pretty
approve
widely
it as
available.
a similar equivalent.
Yeah.
So if they don't have, like.
So
I think
either
it
one
could just
works,
be
we're gonna-
whichever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever
Rather
they,
than
yeah.
To not delay the planting scheme, yeah, so that's good.
I was gonna say, as long as the commission's fine with the huckleberry and the backup. If
Excuse
if
me,
that's available.
Beg your pardon, go ahead, ma'am.
where on North Street is that gonna be done? Is it on like Blackstone Street and North Street or?
Further down.
Are you talking about this project that we're talking about right now? It's on 175 North Street. It's a driveway that's going into a site that has been cleared for a house.
Oh,
There, as you go up North Street towards, you'll see it on the right there. There's a large bank of, is that still across the entrance there, the park mulch, or has it been moved?
It's still.
Yeah, there's a lot of mulch.
There's a big pile of mulch right across what looks like an open driveway and it's cleared up that way. That's the area we're talking about for this project.
okay.
Is that what you want to know? Was that your question? You want to know where?
Yeah, that was my question.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
I would then suggest that we, just for clarity, have someone modify the amendment to say the planting scheme as proposed with any,
So it's already in the enforcement order. It's 75% coverage of the restoration area. or-
yeah, no, the specific change out that's been suggested and agreed upon by the applicant that they have, as you said, the ability to change that over.
Just add the.
Oh, modify to that.
Yeah, so we're looking to have a friendly amendment, because I heard of that one time in a meeting, sounded really good. If James and Steve agreed, oh no, who's second, you second?
I second.
Yeah, so if Steve agrees to the friendly amendment, which would be that we allow them to substitute
Ilex verticillata, the winterberry holly.
or some equivalent plant that's available to not interrupt the planning scheme, then if you.
Personally, unfriendly is much more invigorating.
Yes, we've had our share, that's, thank you very much.
Yeah, we don't need any more of
Let's
that.
end on a good note.
Yes, really. So with that friendly amendment, I'm going to interpret that to mean that that's okay with commission members. We don't have to make a new motion, cancel all of that.
So,
All right, so, any other comments, questions, amendments, okay. Nicole.
There was a
Aye.
motion, there wasn't a second.
Oh,
I'll
you-
second it.
You made a second.
Yeah,
Well, you just said so. Okay, all right.
Yeah, she just was making a noise, I ignored it. Okay, so, James,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Marianne,
hi.
Tom,
Hi.
Nicole,
Aye.
Pam,
Hi.
Okay, all right. So that's unanimous. You got, go for it. Tell your,
Got it. I'll pass it along.
pass along.
There'll be some words.
When is the end of the planting season? Curious.
Some word.
You can plant as long as the ground is thawed.
So the end of the planting season, whenever that is, good luck. It could be Friday, somebody said.
I know.
frost.
I like to plant this time
Covered
of
all my
year because
plants.
everything settles over.
Yeah,
the
that's tomorrow. This is next
I
week.
already
is
covered
great.
all my.
Well, when it's all in, can you let us know? I just wanna go see it once they're all
Right.
in place.
Sure.
I'm just.
I'm not-
You can adjust the mound and with your.
Yeah, no, I'll walk over it, but.
No jumping because of that landing.
I think my truck has it for the whole day.
Okay.
Probably get stuck in.
Yeah.
All right, so that's approved.
Yeah, in the middle.
May I still have a couple items,
Yeah.
people, unless you don't wanna hang around.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
I just wanna give them the best chance.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's why I don't disagree with that.
Moving right along, ratification vote on emergency certification,
I have some.
right, Tom? So ratification vote for the emergency certification
Yeah.
notification we received for Hartford Avenue, so right of way repair that's down by Stallbrook, where
Mhm.
Stallbrook crosses underneath of those who are unfamiliar or don't remember from the portal info. I did have one question for Hannah at the time when I saw it and signed off on it, which was that it'd be, not, no silts and so forth be added to allow it to flow into that Stallbrook area from what they're doing, and she assured me that would be amended or attended to make sure that minimized. I also, oh, just for a point of information, this is a Mass DEP form and just caught my eye, and I just had to comment on it because I just do this sometimes. Under special conditions on their form, state form, it says proper,
Oh, wait, wait. Oh,
Special, that's what we write. isn't it?
yeah, that's,
yeah, but
that's what I wrote.
you wrote all that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought you were talking about something else.
Well, it's on the form. I thought that was, and I did say that today. I was like, it's there. Anyway, there's a few typos which Hannah's gonna correct. Anyway, I won't go into.
oh, yeah,
Cindy, I'm gonna-
controls. Not erosion controls, it's controls.
It was, she did.
No.
Hey, let's look at my signature. Nice, pretty, huh? I picked that one out of the standard templates. Okay, so, do we need to have anybody else sign off on this, or are we just accepting it?
Well,
You
we
would
have
just
to-
vote to ratify
Ratify,
it.
thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
So
don't,
I'm
you don't
looking for a
actually have
motion
to
to,
sign it.
Can
You
I-
just vote.
have like a
so,
40,
one second, one at a time, James, then Pam.
I have a 40-second synopsis. I have a little bit of some knowledge about this, but what happened? Why did it happen? Has it already been fixed and we're just ratifying after the fact, or they're actually waiting on approval?
No, they got approval from that, cause I had Mike sign off, cause it was
Okay.
something they needed to do
You're the
like
chairman.
right away.
Right.
Yeah, so I believe they started working on it this week, so I don't think they've
So it's
finished.
probably plated and
but-
everything.
Yes, yeah, it's currently plated. And that was just like they couldn't leave it over the winter and. it's-
So is there a
Yeah,
culvert that
so-
failed and then it turned into a sinkhole
No,
or?
So let me pull up I think I said, I should have put it in the portal. I think I sent it to you guys by email.
Yeah,
Um,
basically, it seemed like there were some support members under the roadway in that area, of the culvert, that settled where things moved and created a gap on the right side of the road as you're going.
Oh, so
towards
so
Stallbrook.
the asphalt just caves.
So things were caving or giving out on the side of the road there and going to be more problematic as it continues to erode. It's a low point. And, so the DPW recommended that they get right on that and deal with it, which makes sense, because you don't want stuff flowing into Stallbrook, number one, and number two, it's a low point and it's a very busy road and all that, so.
Is this,
it's only-
is this literally right across from the church?
yes.
Yes.
Well, I think just towards Stallbrook from the church, almost that house is next to it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the low point right where Stallbrook crosses.
So that was what was.
You can see right there,
it was
that's a
just
great shot, yeah. where it's
thinking
giving
for-
out.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
That's a busy road, you can't have that kind of.
And they weren't doing any work on the culvert. It wasn't anything like
failed.
that. It's
There was a
just
picture
failing
from the
out.
underside, yeah, that shows one of the beams or something like that, there's a gap there and so on, and so they're gonna. Eventually, I think I asked Hannah this too, this is part of a long-term, they're gonna do a long-term repair, but right now this is just to get it fixed so that it's stable.
They're putting a Band-Aid on it now,
Yeah.
but one that is safe enough, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, according to their,
they're hiring a contractor for this.
Yeah, they're
obviously,
contractors.
in town for
Yeah,
this.
you
Where
recommend
is
it.
still places?
Currently, is it right there, you see it?
I don't know,
Yes.
there's a- Okay, thank you, Pat.
That's it for me, sorry.
Any other questions, observations about this?
My question was for Hannah. I forget the I'm in a butter, so that means I can't vote vote on this.
That would be prudent. We don't really need to. I don't think.
Okay.
it's an implication, so.
I recuse myself officially.
Thank you for that. Noted for the record. Questions, observations, comments? Hearing none, seeing none. James,
I,
this is to ratify, the,
do we make a motion?
emergency.
Or do we need to make a motion to do that?
Yeah, but to make a
I
motion
will move to ratify the emergency certification.
I'll second it.
for the Hartford Avenue right-of-way repair. Yes, thank you. Seconded by Don. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, seeing none. James,
Aye.
Steve, Marion,
Hi.
Don,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
not Pam, Mike, aye. All right, and a vote, with one abstention due to, I would say reclusion.
One person recused.
Recuse it,
Recused.
she withheld the vote for body reasons. Okay, we have meeting schedule date and meeting date schedule, blah, 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 for 2026. Anybody have any conflicts? They can't make it to that.
My birthday's on one of the days, so I probably won't be.
You know, I-
We'll have a date for you, don't worry
If
about
I
it.
do show up, I might not talk much. I might just be here to listen for fun.
No, we'll just be in the audience.
Yeah,
Hannah, where did you put that calendar?
it was in the portal.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
should be, it should be.
I got it. I printed it from the portal today.
Why is November 18th
Yellow.
highlighted?
No,
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, here it is, sorry. Kept-
I have one version.
It's 5 days before my birthday.
Oh, this is weird.
Oh,
Okay,
November
I have one
18th
that's
is-
November 18th and one that's November 11th.
Is the
I don't know
18th.
why.
November 18th is the third Wednesday of November. That's probably why.
Oh, I think, yeah, because it was a weird, I think there's a holiday on the 11th.
November 11th is Veterans Day, and then
So
in
we're doing
Veterans-
the one meeting in November.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why
We
it's
either
following
have to do
because,
the first or the third Wednesday. That's why I highlighted it.
so wait a minute, so are you looking to add the first Thursday as an option? Or just stay with the 18th as the only no?
It's basically up to you guys. I think the 18th would make it a little bit easier just in terms of like,
we'd literally then
Basically,
have a
right.
meeting from, like, we'd have October 21 and then like,
A month later, basically,
yeah. But I'm fine with that.
And then
In.
almost a month
And then,
later.
yeah.
Another one.
I feel like this is really our busiest time, as you can tell.
oh,
That's
Okay.
good.
I was like,
Don't-
I mean, this is our busiest time of the year, so we should only have one meeting.
There's stuff happening in
I
town.
was gonna say, when I started in, I think it was either the second one of October or the first one in November, and it was busy.
Yeah.
Next year, they're gonna be like, oh, Army Corps gave up all that land and we're gonna put a building up the property lines. Yeah.
Oh, speaking, not of Army Corps per se, but there is a workshop, Hannah, you sent the information before, I think, or MACC did. Maybe MACC, you all probably, if you get MACC emails,
Mhm.
there's one about a workshop on, which I advise people if they can, if it hasn't already passed, I forgot the date, I think it's still coming out. They're doing hearings around approvals by the state for solar projects, and other projects being greenlit almost.
Clean energy.
Clean energy
I-
stuff
I
like
was
that,
thinking
and
on that,
they're
like,
asking for feedback to it, because it looks like if it goes through, the way I've interpreted what I've read so far, that it's gonna be very difficult to regulate them in any substantial way in towns where developers come in and want to put in something like a solar farm. So since Bellingham's had that experience several times where solar projects have been gone for in town, this might be something that,
So I listened into it last week.
Oh, you did,
for
okay.
work.
Yeah.
And that question came up and the guy that responded from DOER essentially said, it doesn't take away your regulatory review, it puts a cap on the limit of how long you can review it.
that certain number of days to respond, to look at it, decide if they
Yeah.
enough, then, yeah.
I think was a year. So like, if you can't approve a project within a year, that's.
I think that there's one thing that caught my eye, was like 30 days to decide whether the applicant has put in all the information that they need to, so. Once
It's
the
30
process
days
is
to, it's, yes, so it's 30 days to decide for the commission to decide if it's a completed application. If it's not a completed application, you either deny it, or if it is a completed application and you don't respond, then the state takes over.
Okay.
You essentially lose your right to review it if you do not respond.
I knew there was a timing thing too.
Yeah.
So anyway, something just to be aware of as more projects may come forward to the town or not with solar projects.
Yes.
Sometimes they're in good spots, sometimes they're not so good, but other times No. Okay, any other questions about the meeting schedule before we move along to the minutes?
Do we have to vote on?
No, I don't think we have to vote. Do we have to vote on this?
I would vote on the schedule.
Okay.
But I mean, if.
Doesn't hurt to have a vote on it.
if You guys wanna move it, like if it is looking weird next year and we need to have another meeting.
Yeah, we can.
November or something, we can always. do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
I say once every 3 months.
That'll throw people.
Just a
for a loop.
24-hour meeting.
Yeah.
All in 24 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
You get pizza and everything.
I'm gonna need more than pizza.
Do like a whole thing.
Red Bull, all.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I will
I'll-
accept the motion to approve the proposed, Bellingham Conservation Commission 2026 meeting agenda,
So moved.
Seconded.
meeting schedule, sorry. Thank you. Motion second, by Don, any discussion? All right, Pam,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve, James.
Aye.
Mike, aye. Okay. Thank you, Hannah, for providing that for us in such a neat form. We understand the yellow highlight. Okay. Minutes for September 10th and September 24th. I will confess I did not get a chance to read those today, and some stuff come up at the last minute when I intended to, although I shouldn't use that as an excuse. 'Cause
I
I did read
didn't
them.
see any issues on the 10th. I was not here for the 24th.
Okay, any other observations of the minutes?
I read through and they looked fine to me.
Fine to you, okay, Ariane? I'll give you a minute for reading. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, yeah, Nicole, anything? Okay.
Seen them.
I wasn't here, so.
Oh, you weren't here for, I'm for you. Oh, that's right. you were traveling all day.
Stuff, I know, I felt terrible.
Well, if anybody has something that they want to note after the fact, it's a minor technical thing or typo or something, that's fine. You can let Hannah know, but otherwise I will accept a motion if someone wants to make it. About the minutes?
I'll move to accept both the 9:10 and 9:24 minutes.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, James,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Ariane?
Aye.
Don?
I can't.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for,
Yep.
you're right there. Nicole?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
My God, okay. Thank you for that. Signing 29 Iris Lane DOA, dead on arrival.
Oh.
Well, that's my interpretation of DOA, but that's not necessarily correct. I'm willing to interpret it differently. Okay, so, determination of applicability in this case, you're gonna be sending that around right now to have a sign, thank you. Anybody have any questions about Iris Lane? Remember Iris Lane, for the, garden area and so forth?
What was the decision?
That we were gonna allow them to do that, not disturb the areas between the gardens. They could rake in the tracks for the developers' vehicles, left impressions of the ground, somewhat to smooth that out a little bit. Posting badges along the backside of the open space and, that's the essential, that's the point thing, I think. One of the questions, who's the next neighbor? It's gonna be before this. We got
I know.
two side by side neighbors that are doing it, and maybe others will want to. Okay.
You think we're gonna hear from 31 Iris Lane and 53 Iris Lane?
I mean, the activities for all.
Sir, ma'am, you here for anything in particular? Because we're almost at the end of our agenda.
I was here for the Lake Hiawatha meeting, and I'm new to that, and new to Bellingham, so just listening.
Oh, okay, great. Well, but for the Lake Hiawatha meeting, there was one.
So the one that was presented first, where he's doing a development, isn't that impact?
Oh, it may eventually get down to Lake Hiawatha. The Blackstone Street Road, though it is a paper road, does not physically extend to there yet. It's just a path or anything else. But yes, Lake Hiawatha is the termination point of that paper road, I believe. So yes, that could impact eventually.
Did you give public notice to come here, or you just saw that it was posted and?
I went to the Lake Hiawatha meeting.
Oh,
And they mentioned it there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure they did. And you, sir? I've seen you here a number of times. Just
Here, to see what Lou Petrosi had to say and what was gonna go on.
Right.
I struggled so bad with the hearing though that I missed a lot.
I hear, I appreciate what you're saying. Okay.
I'll get you one of those cones.
I need more than that.
You
believe
need-
me.
I hear you.
That's why I wanted the loudspeakers to work. I got the hearing aids cranked and
Well,
I can't get it all.
For future reference, sir, what's your name, sir? What's your name, sir?
Dave Nichols.
Dave. So I encourage you, don't hesitate to move your chair right up to the front. You can sit up next to Nicole, to Hannah. for that particular hearing, because if that you can't hear it, I can't make people yell. I know some of our members are soft-spoken. I speak too fast and mumble sometimes, and so it's tough.
I think a lot is established and, you know, I think now it's the motion more than,
Well, we'll see how it rolls. Nick,
but it's primarily Prospect Hill, but I want to support the other folks that
sure.
are having issues with him too. They're supporting us.
I appreciate you guys.
You know,
going
tomorrow night,
forward.
we're gonna pack the hall.
For planning board, yeah,
And
I'm
if
sure
you're-
Rob will have
And
that.
if you're curious too, like after the hearing is done, it's posted online, the video, and you can probably hit closed captioning, so it'll read out what we've said.
And technology challenge.
Or Hannah also posts the minutes. Once they're approved, the minutes go up.
Yeah,
on
I
the
see
website.
that.
You can read physically what.
It makes
I
sense.
know having people in person matters too.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So we encourage
I'm
that.
saying if
I
you
appreciate
I
that.
like it every time I see
I
him.
mean, as this process has gone on and on for years, it went to the point at first I was struggling to hear, and now I'm like not even hearing everything. I'm really losing my hearing. It's getting bad.
And I'm starting to
That's
too.
unfortunate. I don't think you're missing much of.
Ariane says you're not missing much. Okay, well, thank you for coming both.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank
We're
you.
gonna
Have a great
basically
night.
adjourn now. Thank you, for just coming up. That's nice.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Oh, sorry, James, just be careful.
No, Pam
Wait a
can-
minute, do we have a
Okay.
discussion about it?
Pam,
Pam can have
Any
it.
discussion about the discussion about, okay, all in favor, Pam,
Aye.
Nicole, Don,
Aye.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve, James,
Aye.
Mike, aye. Hannah says aye, aye. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
All
you,
right.
Hannah,
Good
for all your
night.
work
I
you
will